Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. My ex dumped me because I was a softie, now she wants me back. I, 27 male, had been previously in a toxic relationship with my ex-girlfriend who we will call Rachel. Rachel and I had nothing in common, which to this day makes me question why we even dated in the first place. We started dating after we've been hanging out with the same friend group when we were both 20. She was the one who asked me out first, which I agreed, since I liked her a bit. Dated for 4 months, then made it official that we were boyfriend and girlfriend. After a year, she started getting annoyed with everything I do. She would go crazy if she saw me baking or knitting. I love doing this stuff because my mother taught me those things since I was a child. I was the shy type who didn't like talking a lot or doing what other boys do these days. I can describe myself as a calm person, but she didn't like that. She hated who I was. She would constantly scream at me to be a man and stop acting like a woman. To be honest, it hurt a lot, especially when my self-esteem was really low. Day after day, it started getting worse. When her birthday came, I baked a cake especially for her, since I knew she loved cheesecake. Guess what she did? She was livid and screamed at the top of her lungs about how I was a weakling and threw the cake I made her. She went to her friend's house that night, while I cried myself to sleep. The last straw came when I adopted my cat Nina. She was a small kitten when I adopted her. I loved her the moment I laid my eyes on her, so I decided to take her home with me. When Rachel saw her, she almost lost her mind and started screeching about how disgusting it was to have a cat. She tried to take Nina, but I pushed her away and finally snapped. I told her how I had enough of her and I wouldn't let her bring me down anymore. I wouldn't change who I was for someone who doesn't even appreciate me. It was a huge argument, and I told her to get the hell out of my apartment because it's over, and I wouldn't let anyone disrespect me this way again. She started packing her things, while telling me that she doesn't need me and will find herself a real man. A few years passed, and I met my now wife. She was the complete opposite of Rachel, adorable, calm, sweet, loving, a literal angel. I met her because I constantly saw her whenever I brought Nina to the vet. It turned out she was there because her father worked as a vet. She came to visit him and play with other pets. It was so adorable, and I felt myself developing feelings for her. We started talking and I discovered that we share almost the same interests. It's like we were made for each other. We talked more, and I built up the courage to ask her out. The date was perfect. We talked and laughed, laid down chatting all night. I told her about my story with my ex, which she comforted me for and told me that she doesn't know what she lost, that I was a wonderful and a sweet man that lacks nothing. I started tearing up and she hugged me. She was so sweet to me and loved playing with Nina. Every time I looked at her, I thought to myself, yes, this is the woman I want to marry. After a few dates, we became official and I couldn't be happier. We got married and I felt like I was on cloud 9. Fast forward last year, I get a knock on my door, which to my surprise, it was Rachel, my ex, who made me miserable. I tried closing the door, but she held it saying she came here to apologize. I told her whatever it is, it's forgiven and forgotten, but she said it was a different thing. Turns out, one of my friends gave her my address. Don't worry, I already cut off that friend. Anyways, Rachel started apologizing, and I could see the color drain from her face when she saw the wedding ring on my finger. Suddenly she broke down and said how much she missed me. She wanted us to be back together, which disgusted me. She continued crying about how her past relationships were toxic, and her exes treated her like trash, while I treated her like a queen. I told her, F no. I wouldn't leave the woman who loved me for who I am and made me happy, for someone who never gave a damn about my feelings. I told her to get lost, or I'll get a restraining order, then closed the door. That day, I told my wife everything. She was so happy for me that I stood up for myself and told my ex how much pain she caused me. This was last year. Now we have a beautiful daughter together. I'm glad I met such a sweet woman who made me happy and started a family with me. But I'm mostly happy that in the end, I knew my worth. Now for the top comments. OP, I'm very happy for you, as the post is written. But why are you telling the internet about it a year later? Do you actually still think about her and this happening? Because that is kind of worrisome. If you are still hung up on her, don't just pretend that it's because you're proud of yourself. Make yourself confront your feelings, whether alone or with a therapist, before it potentially festers. No, I don't feel anything towards her. The only thing I feel towards her is hatred for the way she treated me. I only shared because I saw a lot of people here sharing their experience and telling the world, so I decided to do it too. So why title the post as your ex being the topic, when you could have made it be all about your wonderful journey, as a post encouraging people to stick to their morals? I don't know, man. I'm leaning to that you haven't realized you're not over her. I only wrote the title this way to summarize what happened, and I already said that since a lot of people posted about their experience, I decided to do it too. As for my ex, I've already got over her the moment we broke up, because I realized she's not worth my time. I shared my experience here to talk about some things that happened in my life. Maybe someone who was in the same situation as me sees it and learn that cutting off toxic people will make their lives better. Yours is such an uplifting story. You did everything without betraying your principles, and now you have a beautiful family. Yup, and I'm grateful for it. I'm glad you found your own happiness. Your wife sounds lovely. That audacity of that ex-friend though, what was their reaction to being found out and kicked out? Yeah, she's the best. I'm lucky to have her. As for my ex-friend, she was the closest one to my ex. She didn't really care about us, but she had a crush on one of the guys in the group, so that's the only thing she's upset about. He's a friend of mine, and he rejected her when she confessed to him. He told her how disrespectful and disgusting she is for betraying me like that. Next story. My brother is blaming me for his marriage ending, and I'm sick of it. My brother's wife has filed for divorce, to the surprise of no one except my brother. They have been married for 19 years, and they dated for something like 5 years before they got married, because they were both in university. My brother is 44 and his wife is 43. For years, it's obvious to anyone with eyes that his wife feels unappreciated. My brother publicly stopped putting any love towards his wife. He cared less about hygiene and his appearance. He looked like a slob. Now, when it came to other people like his younger co-worker, he had no problem spending big money on a new suit and getting a haircut, and cleaning up for the party to celebrate her promotion. I don't think he cheated. I could be wrong, of course. His wife doesn't think so either, but she was upset that he could pay attention to other women, but not her. The co-worker was just one instance. His wife tried to make an effort to take him out and dress up, to keep in shape for him, but he literally ignored her. I remember one time a few years back, she budgeted and saved for a vacation for them to spend time together, and when they got there, my brother ditched her at the hotel to go fishing. When I got married, he was completely fine to dress up and bragged to my sister-in-law to try to impress her. He loved paying attention to other women except his wife. She's been trying for years. She's told him she felt unappreciated. She's tried to bring excitement to their marriage. Everyone who knows them, including me, pointed out to him that his wife was unhappy. He never did anything about it or tried making an effort. And this was all with public stuff. I can't even imagine what it was like in their private lives. As soon as my niece turned 18, his wife filed for divorce. It's not even about money for her, since they don't own a home themselves. There is no child support because my niece is 18. They both work, so neither of them will pay or owe spousal maintenance. She is just tired of feeling unappreciated. Now my brother is blaming everyone except himself for the divorce. He blames me for not telling me his wife was unhappy. Firstly, I did, and secondly, so did she. He's sulking and complaining all the time, and he's into the alcohol a lot these days. I'm sick of being blamed though, and I told him if he doesn't stop, I'll stop talking to him. He ignored the signs for years, and his wife outright telling him. I don't blame his wife for leaving at all. Your brother sounds like he has all the self-awareness of a table leg. She's right to have left, to be honest. All you can do is remind him that the only one responsible for what happens to him is him. If he continues to play the blame game, there's no point engaging. Self-awareness of a table leg. This is my new insult now. Feel sorry for the wife. 19 years of marriage and 5 years dating. That's her entire adult life wasted on this guy. Like, how does someone even mentally recover from that? I really hope she has some incredible times in her future, dating, traveling, just enjoying being appreciated as a woman should be. Go live like she's 20 because she only has her work commitments. No child, no husband. Go absolutely freaking mental. My mother-in-law didn't divorce until she was in her early 50s. She's remarried to a man that adores her. And while he's not perfect, he's attentive and caring. She's finally getting love and appreciation from a non-narcissist. Everyone in the family loves him, even my parents and my brother love him. She's happier than she's ever been. And he did well for himself. Not crazy rich, but comfortable. So they're talking about retiring early and getting a little bungalow somewhere and traveling the world together. Classic walkaway wife. Coming from one who was married for 20 years, listening to his family questioning why I stayed, like for years. Of course, when I left, they were all shocked, and I was persona non grata. I was gonna say men wake up, but I think there are many walkaway husbands out there too. Some people can't see, understand, or comprehend how their inaction impacts the people they live with and love. If you love someone, let them know through your actions. Be present, respect what matters to them even you don't have a clue why it matters. It matters to them and that's all that needs to matter. Cut him out either way. The brothers sound so narcissistic, and I'm 100% sure he cheated. There is no reason to spend money on another woman unless if you did. Provide your soon-be ex-sister-in-law with emotional support, she will need it. And make sure she doesn't go back to that garbage. Wanting or trying to cheat, but being unable to seal the deal. Last story. My husband asked me to leave while refusing to kick out our roommate who he cheated with. Plus mini update. Okay, so it's as bad as it sounds. My husband and I have been together for about 8 years now. Most of our marriage was wonderful, and I thought he was a great man. About a year and a half ago, my friend asked if she could stay with us because she had nowhere else. My husband at first was against this, and I begged him until he agreed. She moved in and everything was fine until a week ago. My husband comes to me and says we have problems last week. He doesn't like the way I'm behaving towards him. The only thing he says is wrong is that I had a mental relapse and starting to act in a way he doesn't like. I tell him I will change. I tell him I'm just under a lot of stress because I work or go to school 7 days a week while he sits at home in no legal job. Now at this point, I had a feeling in my gut that something was off. My roommate lets me borrow her phone, and I find hurtful messages he sent her asking for goodnight kisses and calling her pet names like honey. My heart breaks and I confront him. He asks for a separation so he can think about if he still wants to be with me and asks me to move out at least for now. Even though this really hurts, I agree. The only thing I ask for in return is to make her leave too, since he clearly has a thing for her. He refuses. After we both talk to the roommate, she bursts into tears and goes to her room. My husband gets mad at me and asks me to leave because if I am there, he will feel bad for going to comfort her. What about my comfort? I am his wife and have always been loyal to him. I am so hurt and shocked. I never thought he was this kind of person. He wants me to give him time to decide, which I would do if it wasn't for the roommate part. I know other people have gone through way worse than me right now, but it hurts so much inside. I just wish I could turn my feelings off. Why did he throw me away? I do not think a good man would do this to his wife. Make fun of me or laugh at me, I probably deserve it for what a fool I have been. How do I pick up these pieces and move on? I could wait for him if the roommate was gone, but it doesn't look like he will kick her out. Now for the top advice. You need to block all access to your bank accounts as soon as possible, before he drains them. Already done. Don't give him one dime, don't even speak to him. He's a louse and will simply keep putting you through the ringer if you allow him any access, whether by phone, text, in person, whatever. Honey, save your dignity. Don't give either of them the chance to hurt you more and keep mocking you in your face. Find a good divorce lawyer before you make any decision about moving out of your own house, and then let them have each other. You don't need such people in your life. Absolutely agree with this. They're married, and he's clearly breached his wedding vows, so divorce him and keep the house. My heart absolutely sank reading through this. I've been with my husband for 8 years too, and the thought of this happening would absolutely destroy me. I sure hope this woman is okay. Yes, don't leave the house. He has no job. He can leave. Does he pay for the house? I could be talking out of my butt here, but I think in some states and whatnot, it can work against you to leave the house, for sure with kids, not sure about property. Please look into the legal ramifications of leaving before you do leave, if you decide to. But he can buzz right off and he can leave. Do not leave your home. If they are uncomfortable, they can leave. I left because the house we lived in was in his dad's name, and I have no legal right to it. At least I think not. This was because I was saving up for our own house. Leave, cry, divorce, get over him and go live life in a way you deserve. This isn't someone worth fighting for. He just threw away 8 years because he was bored, instead of working hard and saving towards your dreams. Edited for a small update and more context, because so many people asked. First, I am genuinely shocked at the amount of strangers that have said kind things to me. I tried to respond to as many messages as possible. Thank you to everyone who had encouraging things to say and advice. It truly uplifted my spirit. There are a couple things I want to add and clarify. 1. The house is in my father-in-law's name. He lives there too and has dementia, so I cannot burden him with this. Plus, it is a single wide trailer falling apart. 2. Basically, my husband's gray area job is selling weed in a legal state, but he doesn't report any income. My state is legal for recreational, but not legal to sell. Also, I know for a fact my roommate is committing welfare fraud and disability fraud because she brags about it. 3. I did tell his family what was going on because I know he wouldn't tell them the truth. They offered condolences. He texted me and asked me why I told them, and now is claiming he never cheated on me, which hurts that he won't even take responsibility even when I screenshotted the proof. 4. I have reconnected with some family members he convinced me were no good to talk to, and they have been a huge support. I am also talking to a lawyer. 5. I can't stay there now for my safety. He's a felon with a weapon and concern for my own mental health being in such a toxic environment. I am safe currently. 6. The mental relapse he is referring to is because I was diagnosed with OCD and BPD. He knows this, and I spent years in therapy to manage my feelings and symptoms. Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. I was accused of assaulting my ex-girlfriend and it has ruined my life. Now my friends want to talk after all of these years. Plus update. Original post. Let me just start off by saying that, no, I did not do that to my ex-girlfriend. I, 24 male, was accused of doing that by my ex-girlfriend, 23 female, about 7 years ago, and it has ruined my life. I was a quiet kid in high school who had a small group of friends. I was a band kid, straight A's, that type of crowd. Now in my sophomore year, I met my ex, let's call her Amy, and we dated on and off over a year. Amy and I also have a small past together. Her parents worked with my parents and were best friends, and we already knew each other well. We had no issues within the relationship, and we saw each other at least 3 times a week as we went to separate schools. Now, I was the one who did the damage. I broke up with her for multiple different reasons. The main one being her sister tried to stab me with a kitchen knife. A year goes by, now nearing the end of my junior year, and my buddy, we'll call him Jason, calls me and tells me Amy is accusing me of violating her. I hadn't seen her or spoken to her since our breakup, and Jason and my friend group all knew that, so I naturally shrugged it off and thought it wouldn't be too much of an issue, kind of just a friend group rumor type of deal. Now this is where I was wrong. By the beginning of my senior year, I had received death threats on numerous occasions, all of my friends turning on me, and it all led to me getting arrested. While I was in holding, someone offed my dog while my parents weren't home and left a note calling me an offender. That dog was my best friend through all of this and was the final straw in my decision. The charges were dropped due to the little evidence Amy had provided. I took my second chance at life and ran away. After high school, which after all the court hearings was only a few weeks away, I had moved across the state, losing all of my high school friends, changed my phone number, and deleted all social media. My parents knew I left, but had no idea where I was. I was a ghost, and it was the way my life had to be. Living on my own wasn't how it always sounds for an out-of-high-school student like myself. I spent the first 2 years hiding away in my apartment. I spent months overthinking and questioning my own thoughts. I went to work and went home. I did not converse with anyone for 2 years. I had no friends, and I was lonely. All I had was my new dog, Bosco. Yes, he is named after that creature from Avatar, The Last Airbender. I was living in hell with my only escape being my dog and my games, which I deleted all of my online friends as well. Eventually I met a lovely woman, we'll call her Kate. Kate and I met while I was at the dog park with Bosco. This girl has done everything for me, and I love her so much. She hasn't doubted my side since the day I told her, and has helped me start my life over, including helping me make new friends. Sorry for the rambling, but I'm nearing the end of the story. Now, last week I had made a new social media account and added only my new friends and Kate's family. My family understands why I did not add them, as it would link me to my hometown. I received an odd message request this morning. I looked in disbelief as I saw it was from Jason, asking me where I have been and if I was okay. I did not open it, I just let it be and went about my day. Now I have 5 new friend requests from my old friend group, all of them messaging me, asking me where I was, and if I wanted to meet up and talk. I decided to message Jason back, and told him everything I've been waiting to tell him. You guys turned your backs on me, tarnished my name, and helped Amy destroy my life and my reputation back in our hometown. Do you really expect me to reply back to you after that? I went on and explained what happened, including how someone unalived my dog. I've spent years in therapy, countless hours of trial and error to socialize again, and what felt like an eternity to trust anyone. I have new friends and an awesome girlfriend, all of which contributed to my success at restoring my humanity. I've been thinking about it all day today, and I still don't know if I should give my old friends another chance. Maybe they've grown up and regretted their decisions, or maybe they just expect me to forgive them. If anyone has any opinion on this, please comment. Sorry for the rambling, I just needed a safe place to be able to share my story and my recent events. Kate already does so much for me, and I don't want to text her while she's at work about this. Thank you for reading, and any comments that follow are much appreciated. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Good for you. Personally, I wouldn't give them the opportunity to absolve their own guilt. Let it eat at them. People who pull this crap and casually ask why you left don't sound like they have a guilty conscience. No, they didn't trust your side and someone off your dog. Even if you were an offender, why kill a dog? It's never an animal's fault, so that's way over the line. I go John Wick on their butts. Point is, it takes a messed up mindset to come out on top of a situation like this. Especially when you're young. I was 16 when my suffering happened. OP did the next best thing. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get them back in my life. OP has a new life, there's no real reason to get sucked back in by the old one. To OP, just change the privacy settings, so people who are not on your friends list already can't message you, no one can send you friend requests. Only you can, and things like info, posts, photos, videos, friends list on your profile are visible only for those on your friends list, and focus on your life. I hate when people falsely claim others of this crime, because it's already so hard for victims to get justice. OP, I'm so sorry. She's the actual scum of the earth. And most likely did something to someone else, and now they see she was lying. Too little too late. That's probably the most likely scenario. They got suspicious that she was lying when a second or even a third ex supposedly violated her after the breakup, and now they want to wash their conscience clean. And now for the update. Jason and my other old friends told me everything that happened since I've been gone. To sum it all up, Amy is an addict and does not live in my hometown anymore. They all apologized to me, but I told them we could no longer be close. The drama and memories would all come back, and I've worked too hard to get where I am in life to let some dumb old friends ruin that. After they apologized, they all took turns admitting they regret taking Amy's side. They told me they have no idea who offed my dog. Also to mention, my dog was done in with rat poison if some of you were wondering. However, none of them understood the fact that I cannot be close with them anymore, and I blocked them all. It feels really nice to have closure and not have the consequences of being close with them. Kate really helped me through this, and I've read a lot of your comments and I respect everyone's opinion. Also, to touch up on some questions everyone had. Amy's sister did not like me at all. She also had serious mental health issues that ended up landing her in mental health facilities on multiple occasions. I have no idea where she is now, and I honestly could care less. She is a horrible human being and deserves nothing. Amy admitted to the false claim sometime after I moved across the state. Jason and the others told me they were all at a college party where Amy was very drunk and decided it was a good idea to get frisky with another old friend of mine. His name is irrelevant. She told him she came up with the accusation months after I broke up with her because I was her first love and I deserved it. I guess the crazy runs in the family. The lesson to take away from this is don't give anyone a second chance. They broke your trust the first time and should not be given another chance. Know your self-worth. Thank you everyone who commented and gave me some self-esteem. Your opinions are greatly appreciated more than you know. Now for the last story. Update. My girlfriend 27 female hurt herself after I 30 male left her house and is in recovery, causing everyone to ghost me. I left her. Original post. This is a sensitive topic and I'm not going to go into detail for obvious reasons. I am actively being kept in the dark by her family and honestly these days have blended together. We have been together for almost 3 years off and on. This is by far my longest relationship. We've had a lot of trials and most of it pertains to our mental struggles. Sometimes it was her, sometimes it was me, but we made it work. I know this is going to sound cheesy, but I really feel like she is my soulmate. There has been an ongoing issue with her lashing out and me enduring it. Twice, I canceled gigs for my job so I could stay up late at night to talk her out of hurting herself. That has been a constant clash between us. She feels I think she's ugly because of scars on her wrists and legs and thinks it is not my place to try to get her help. The past year has been rough on both of us and I've not been able to be there mentally for her as much as I was in the past. I am in a place in my career where I have been busy for the first time in my life and I'm fortunate enough to have a full-time job during these times. The thing is, we haven't really been fighting leading up to this. The last time I saw her was peaceful, and I honestly thought we were better than we ever had been. We had just talked about finally getting to go see the ocean once everything had settled down. She just asked if I could call off tomorrow to spend the day with her, so we could smoke and hang out. I just said I was busy, and she took it okay, or so I thought. Nothing changed, and I left after an hour or so because I really needed to get some sleep. Then I got a call at about 6 the next morning that she'd hurt herself with her friend's gun. Her mom told me she would rather not see me there. I didn't go to work, so I just sat at my home in shock. Nobody would tell me anything. It's really broken a lot of trust with a lot of people that I would call lifelong friends. I don't want to know every detail, I just wanted to make sure she was okay. A few days later, her dad called and said I could go visit her. He didn't say much, just that something else had happened too. She's had other medical problems. She was asleep when I saw her. They think she's going to recover pretty confidently. I was there 10 minutes before her dad ushered me out. I tried to talk to a doctor, but he kept nudging me to leave. About 3 more days later, her sister called me and said that she may be coming home soon. And that's when she told me I would have a chance to make things right. I asked what she meant, and apparently my girlfriend blamed me for everything. She sent a text accusing me of abandoning her and saying things I never would dream of saying. She also states that I had borrowed the weapon from my friend and gave it to her, which doesn't make sense. She ended the call with, "Once she comes home, you can focus on helping her and saving your relationship." That was a week ago, and I haven't heard anything since. Social media has been quiet, no calls or texts. The only people I've been around is when I'm at the bar, and people are just as surprised as I am to learn that I don't know nothing. It just doesn't add up to me. If they think I did these awful things, why would anyone want me back with her? Is she awake right now? I've searched a bit, but I can't really find anything out. I have called my friend who owns the firearm multiple times, and I am pretty close to just driving up to his house to figure out what is going on, or at least get him to tell her family the truth. I sent her sister a text telling her the truth in every detail about what happened when I was there. I even sent her screenshots of us wishing each other a good night and talking about how we could hang out that weekend when I'm off work. Anyhow, the main thing of this post is I need advice, because I'm planning on breaking up with her at the moment. This was just too far for me, and I can't handle it. I feel awful just typing this. I am bawling my eyes out right now, but I can't help someone who doesn't want help and would say those things about me. I am being treated so horribly for something I didn't do, and I need peace. I really love her, and I would honestly be in that hospital bed instead of her if I could. But this has crossed a line. Normally we would fight and one of us would cave. I would be mad, and within a day be wanting to talk to her again. I don't think I could ever look someone in the eyes after they've done something like that to me. I feel like trash. Have even deleted every picture of us off my phone, and if it wouldn't stir anything up, I would remove everything related to her from social media. I know this is out of everyone's pay grade. I just need to know him wrong thinking this way. Is there something I'm missing? I am just dumbfounded, and I can't tell who or what is real anymore. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Sorry to hear what happened. I really think it's not your responsibility to heal her. She should see a psychiatrist because she might need a medication. Hurting oneself to control others is a kind of psychological or emotional abuse. Just know that if not treated early, this behavior might happen again and may get worse. I'm so sorry you had to go through this. As the other comment said, it is not on you to fix her. It sounds like you have only gone above and beyond, and even so, she betrayed you with the lies. I know you're in a lot of pain right now, but your feelings are justified. Someday this will just be a memory. I can only hope so. And now for the update. A couple days after the post, I met with the mother in person. I asked her to meet with me through text. She has always loved me since I started dating her daughter years ago. I can confidently say that they are not going to come after me legally, or there is any malicious intent. Unfortunately, the person I loved did indeed say awful things about me and lie, and she will recover from the self-harm. I showed her the messages. I showed her a text where my girlfriend was joking about wanting to keep the pistol grips, clarifying it was my friend's gun. I also showed her texts during some of the rougher times, me staying up all night to talk her out of self-harm, etc. She also agreed to me recording us talking with my phone. This incident has gotten everyone paranoid, and I needed to know that there was no twist or ambush coming. We both cried a few times talking. I also dropped the bomb that I would be leaving her daughter. She is officially my ex, and I feel torn about that, but I have to get away. Her mom agrees that it was unfair and horrible for her to lie about me. And that feels so validating yet painful, hearing it out loud that her daughter lied. She promised to get her help and apologize to me. She even said that she would still consider me a son. I have no ill will towards her family, and I hope they have none for me. I understand they were just trying to protect their daughter. And based on her story, I was this manipulative monster who tried to rob them of her. I also want to clarify that I was unofficially barred from seeing her at the hospital. I could have gone, but I didn't want to make a grieving family's time harder, and I am thankful for the time they did let me see her. Her sister texted me and apologized as well. A day later yesterday, I met with my friend who owned the weapon. I showed up at his house after he continuously ignored me. It was basically a huge misunderstanding. He was afraid that I was angry at him for letting her borrow the gun, and I took his silence on the issue as validating her lie. We're good. I have a friend now. I have also signed up for counseling and will be going to my first online appointment Saturday. As for my job, I am taking a week leave using my vacation days, the time I was going to use to go to the beach with her, because while I did continue to work throughout all this, I need a break. As for my ex, I believe she's home. I have blocked her on everything, and I have no intention of talking to her again. Some of her eyes were very personal, and there is no other way to take what she said. It freaking hurts. I have loved this person more than I have loved anyone in this world. But this is something I have to do, completely or not at all. I have texted our mutual friends, my entire friend group, stating that I would gladly talk to any of them and set the record straight, and I've even received a couple replies showing support for me, which kinda seems hollow honestly. At the end of the day, I think I will be okay now. I do love my ex, her family has always treated me right and accepted me and when mine would not. I will always be thankful for them. I'm pretty sure my friend group will continue on without me or her, though I may end up breaking down sooner or later because of it. I feel like I've lost out on a chapter of my life. Years wasted. I feel irrationally angry sometimes. I know we didn't have the best relationship, but I didn't deserve that. It helps me to keep repeating that to myself. In some ways I might have saved her life. I did make a point to mention to both the mother and sister that I could have posted every bit of our dirty laundry on Facebook, but I'm not going to do that unless provoked. That is not a threat. They both understood that I mean that in case my ex tries to come after me in any way. It still hurts like right now typing this, but I hope it will with time. Holy crap, what a mess. But sounds like you're dealing with it as well as someone reasonably could. Good luck to you. Yeah man, you are handling this like an absolute champ. Very smart of you to record that conversation with her mother. Although it did go well, you never know what could happen.